Even as a lot of things are ongoing here down south, I'm here with Parnevel Tyagarajan, the finance minister of Tamil Nadu. Sir, thank you so much for your time. So talking about politics, talking about, you're here in Hyderabad today. Today Hyderabad is celebrating, Telangana Integration Day. There's a lot of politics that is involved on ground as well. While talking about southern states and talking about, the center as well, there is still some kind of unity that needs to be joined. How do you see this?
No, I don't think there's any, mutual exclusivity. I think we can all be good Indians, good citizens, and still argue for what are better administrative models with greater devolution of rights and funds to the states that otherwise have the greatest responsibility for delivery, particularly the last mile delivery. And as some people pointed out, to be fair, that should also get devolved to the local bodies all the way down to the panchayat. So I think it was a, completely orthogonal discussion about efficiency, about inclusion, about democracy, rather than about, whether we have more or less patriotism than anybody.
But, we're talking today is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday, and as you can clearly see, the kind of celebrations that is ongoing now, there's a lot of comments that have erupted. Periyar's birthday is also today. We're seeing a lot of these things, events that are taking place on the same day, but some say that major events are being sidelined just because it is, say, one person's birthday, or that, other important pressing events are being sidelined to the, taking a backbench.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say. This particular thing was already set up before I think we really contemplated what day it was. I think it was a question of logistics of bringing everybody here. That's the basis on which the scheduling was done. So I'm not... in fact, I missed something very important in my state. Today is the day that the Chief Minister has announced that we should all take the pledge of inclusive society, and if I had been in my state, I would have gone to a government office and led a lot of people in the pledge. I didn't think about the date when it was set. It was today or tomorrow or yesterday. There were some issues, so I don't think we should read politics into any of this.
Sir, be it Telangana, be it Tamil Nadu, be it Kerala or other southern states as well, the center, time and again, there has been a lot of politics that is involved, a lot of discussions that are yet to be resolved between, say, the union government and the state as well. Even financially discussing, there is a lot of, confusion, there's a lot of discrepancies that the states are finding it difficult to reach to the center's ears. How do you think is going to be, a kind of mechanism to help reach, lend voice to the center from the state?
I'm not sure there's a problem reaching it to their ears. I mean, especially in my ministry, in the finance ministry, I would say the union finance minister is very gracious, always willing to give appointments, always willing to discuss issues. It's not that our voices are not heard, it's that we don't get resolution, or we don't get what we consider to be equitable resolution. For example, the borrowing limits are strictly enforced on us, more tight than the FRBM equivalent acts in our state that we amend. Let's take last year, for example. Last year, my revised estimate, we said the government of Tamil Nadu's fiscal deficit was 3.8 or something. Now the final account has come, it looks like it's going to be more like 3.25, well within the limit. Union government was at 6.7 or 6.9. So I asked the question, how is there one rule for the union? They can amend their FRBM Act and then there's no other barrier. But another rule for the states, no matter how many acts we amend, they get to tell us down to the rupee what we can borrow. Especially when their performance is, let's say, twice as bad as us. So these are issues that are about fairness. They're profound issues about the nature of our democracy, about federalism. It's not that we don't get heard, we don't get resolution. That's a different problem.